In my case, I like to work with people to help them understand what's triggering them and then figure out ways to empower them so they're not being triggered as much. That's what I generally try to work with. So for example, one of the things I like to say that's going on with our society is, even before COVID, we are stressed out society.
Yeah.
We want people to work 24 hours a day. We want people to work all the time, come home, take your kids to activities, get a home cooked meal, exercise, get 6-8 hours of sleep, come back and do that all over again. Projects go on. We want you to work on Saturday, go to church on Sunday, do whatever else you're doing in the church, whatever, and continue this cycle over and over again. And whatever that is for you. And so people are stressed. Going back to scripture, there was this thing that God designed called a Sabbath. Sabbath means rest. Literally.
Yeah.
So like on that seventh day, he said, okay, we're resting from our labors. We all need that in order to rest, recover, recharge our minds and recharge our bodies and recharge our spirits. And the thing that happens when we charge our minds, our bodies, our spirits, and our emotions, we make better decisions.
Mm-hmm. True.
We're more patient when our child wants to come and say, Daddy, I want this, Daddy, I want this. It'd be like, okay, honey, give me a few moments instead of get out my way. Your wife might say, okay, I want to do this weekend. And say, nah, I ain't got time for that. You say, okay, let's figure out, because you would have recharged it down.
Yeah.
But see, we don't do things like that. Our society was overworked beforehand. I like to say, depending on how you look at COVID, it can be a gift in some ways, because it may have forced some people to slow down for the first time and think about, what do I really want out of life? Or what is God trying to say to me?
Yeah.
But we got to slow down to do that stuff.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I thought about that too. I said, man, this is the first time ever it's never happened before, first of all, but this period of time has really, excuse me, we all had to sit in the house and kind of, just rethink some things. And part of it I actually really enjoyed, because it's like I didn't have anything to do other than just relax and just kind of reset, And I was actually I was sick because I was in the hospital for part of it because of this virus.
Yeah.
And so it forced me to kind of, sit back and kind of reset and rethink about things in life and so forth. So yeah, I think that's so true. I think we're so much in a rush, and especially with, the younger people now, and them being exposed to all the social media and just all this information that's bombarding their minds, and running around and sports and just all the stuff that's going on. I can understand why they're overwhelmed and can be stressed out. And then, like I said, most people are not resting on weekends. Normally on a Saturday, you're playing catch up from what you didn't get done during the week. And of course, like you said, on Sunday, if you go to church, you go to church. But if not, you're doing something else. You're out in the yard working or something like that. Or the kids are, in activities of, playing sports somewhere, or, so it's a constant bombardment of activity and no time to really rest and reset and get your mind right and to be able to, ramp up for the next week.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. It's definitely a tough thing. And one of the things I try to work with people is like, how do you begin to set boundaries on that, even if it's a little bit, even being in business myself, one of the things I've had to learn is, okay, I need to set boundaries on time when I see clients. Because, people ask you any time of day, oh, can you see me Friday at 7:00? No. That's the time with my wife and my family generally.
I do have a life.
Yeah, I do have a life, Can you see me Sunday? No. You have to set those things. And so part of it is learning how to take back what God has given us, this sacred gift called life.
Yeah.
Learning how to do that. And it may not even be perfect at first, but you just start to do it in pieces. Because we've been so unaware so long that we run so much and we do so many things, get so much debt, do it all this thing, and the next thing you know, we find out we're trapped.
Yeah.
And we're angry because we're in the trap.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we're getting ready to wrap up in a minute, but so how can, for a young person in particular, how can they, if they're dealing with mental health, what are the resources available to them? I mean, what do you think the steps they should need to take to kind of address the challenges that they're facing, whether it's depression or feelings of suicide or just not feeling well or overwhelmed? What can that person, actually not just a young person, anybody, I guess, that's kind of experiencing those things? What are your recommendations?
Well, usually the first thing, and I have this on my website, and then also when anybody calls me, I say, if you're ever feeling suicidal, you call 911 or go to the nearest hospital. You always do that because that's a mental health emergency.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you're going to take your life, or if you're with someone and you think they're going to take their life, you do that. Because sometimes when we feel like we're going to do that, we have a way of hiding it. If someone's suicidal, they have a way of hiding it because that's what they want to do. You're making me think of some things real quick. If someone's doing suicidal, okay, maybe they start giving their things away or things that they value.
Yeah.
Or maybe they start doing things like, saying goodbye in different ways and stuff like that. Those are some immediate things that come to mind. So, and so that gives you a trigger to watch out for it.
Okay.
I always tell people this: there's really nothing wrong with going to a mental health counselor at least one time just to see what it's like. You may say, I might not need any help. I've had clients come in and say, I don't think I need any help. You know what? This was actually pretty cool sitting here. I'll talk with you a little longer, something like that, And so there's nothing wrong with doing that. So I would definitely say if your life is going out of function, if you're finding yourself stressed, overworked, if you find yourself, your mind racing and you can't stop thinking about the thoughts, like, I don't know, during COVID, am I going to die? Am I going to die? Am I going to die? It's like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Then maybe you need to talk to someone about that. If you find yourself dealing with extreme sadness, or you can't sleep at night, or you have no motivation to do the things you used to like to do, or you can't find yourself almost non-functional, something like that, go see somebody. Here's the second thing I would say, even with that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, therapy and medicine works together. Because a lot of people, first of all, psychiatrists and doctors who give medicine for mental health issues. A lot of people say, I don't want to be on no medicine. Sharing this from working with clients. I've worked with clients who've had anxiety, and the medicine has slowed them down enough, the feedback loop, that we can begin to work on things and they can begin to manage their anxiety. So sometimes they work together.
Yeah.
There might be a biochemical process going on that has you dealing with these feelings of sadness or a hormonal imbalance or something like that. That's what psychiatrists and that's what medical doctors can and will figure out for you. And so the other thing I tell my clients is when you do get on medicine, you let your psychiatrist know how it is making you feel, because everything works with everybody a little bit differently. Because although we're human, our physiology is just, our bodies are just a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so what works well for me may not work for you and vice versa. And so I like seeing all of those different things together. If you're looking for therapists, Psychology Today is always a good resource. They've got tons of articles on different aspects of mental health on there. And there are tons of people who do different things. I'm gonna give a shout out to a group that I'm involved out, and we got some things coming out called the Counseling Brothers of Atlanta.
Okay.
And so it's a group of Black men who are therapists who want to work with mental health. And so a lot of us are doing together, we're setting up directories and different things, and you'll be hearing about more things soon, but we want to be resources, especially for the Black community. And so all of us have different specialties, and so when you see this information, you'll be able to pick and choose who you want to see based on what you're dealing with. But we've got people who deal with addiction, families, faith, sex therapists, you name it. We have folks who are specialize in these things.
Well, that's awesome, man. That is yeah. Like, you keep me posted on it, because I want to maybe do a recap. We'll come back around maybe in a few weeks and maybe talk about that. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah, definitely. And we can talk, and I know some of them will be glad to talk to you too, man. So
yeah. Well, hey, man, thank you so much, man, for taking this time out to share, your experience, your background, and your passion and your purpose, really, about, what things that you're doing. And if there's anything else that you wanted to share before we kind of close out.
I'll give some shout outs real quick on some things I'm doing.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. So first of all, I have a podcast, the Faith and Family Matters podcast. It's on Apple and on, I was about to say Stitcher, but I cannot remember the name right now. Spotify. It's on Apple and Spotify. It's going to be on other places real soon. Okay. And so I do talk about different topics related to faith, family, and mental health. We even had a episode released this week where me and my wife did something together talking about being married and coronavirus. So you get a chance to do that.
I need to check that one out.
Oh yeah, definitely. So do that, first thing. Second thing, on Amazon, I have a book, Praying with Your Spouse, A Secret to Building Intimacy in Your Marriage. We often forget about the spiritual aspect and the connection of how we bring together. And then as we both talk about God being present and want us being present, we can go to God to pray about anything. And so it's a small book, but it's a simple format talking about how to pray, talking about some things, how to pray, and then even has some sample prayers at the end.
Oh, wow.
You can do that. So yeah.
That's
cool.
The
second thing. The third thing is, if you're looking for counseling, individual, family, couples counseling, marriage counseling, my site, WilliamHemphill.com, WilliamHemphill.com. You can go there. You can click, there's a button that comes down. You can click on there, make an appointment. It has my email address and phone number. You can contact me.
Sweet.
So that's 3. And then number 4, if you happen to live in Covington, when we get back to church, I'm also a pastor of Spring Hill United Methodist Church. So there you go.
Oh, man. Hey, that's awesome, dude. I'm just so excited to be able to sit down with you. The funny thing about this is that we haven't seen each other. I don't know when the last time our paths crossed, but it's got to be over 15 years, I would imagine.
I would say probably at least 15 years. Yeah. Life just gets busy.
Yeah, that's true. But now that we're kind of reconnected, we definitely want to stay in touch. And like I said, in the future, I want to do some more discussions about some of the other things, from sex and marriage and so forth, and finding a spouse or finding somebody that your life partner and so forth. I think those would be really good topics to talk about in the future. But we'll deal with that later on.
Definitely, man. Just feel free, reach out to me. I'll be glad to sit there and we'll talk and chat about it, man.
Sounds good, man. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this next episode of God Dreamers. You guys be blessed, and we'll take care until the next time. God bless.
Take care.
All right.